Hi, my name is Cole Hendrickson, and this is my final project for Typography 1 with Professor Stephen Schaff. I'll be presenting here a conceptual organic piece based on the album Pop by Gas. So as far as just basic artist statements go, the intention of this piece is to create a destructible and recreatable piece that appeals to the viewer's previous experiences in nature while evoking a single word or mantra. So I wanted to use that single word to be very powerful and very upfront, and almost kind of deceptively simple so that a viewer can gain their meaning and gain their impression from the piece very quickly, and then get to delving into some of the deeper meanings of it, which I talk about in this second box here. I wanted to appeal to more artistic viewers who are open to analyze and deconstruct the feelings and impressions they get from the piece. And so I'll also be primarily targeting a art-minded audience. So the inspiration for this piece here was the album Pop by Gas, which is an ambient album that features, along with some synthetic electronic elements, it features samples of the forest, sounds of the forest, audio mantras that the forest has, such as birds and insects, all of that type of forest motifs that can go into creating a piece about the forest. And I really wanted to achieve the transportative qualities that this album has for the listener, as the listener is just very deeply plunged into the environment of the forest. So here I have just some sketches and mind maps. It's a very early stage of the process. I went through looking at lots of different words and different ways to apply those words physically. I came upon, if I'm going to have a single word, I want it to be front and center in the canvas or in the wood board that I worked on. And I just wanted that to be very clear and very obvious. So as far as the visual and market research, here I just have some very basic profiles of the type of people that I'm trying to connect with, or the people who I'm targeting this project towards. It is targeted towards all genders from 35 to 65 years old. I figured this is the more likely crowd to be attending local art events or be more art-minded. And I'm looking to capture the attention of those who may already be involved or are just interested in their local art scene. So another slide on process, just for the execution here. I used a wood board about 3 foot by 2 foot, maybe a little smaller on the length, a little smaller than 3 feet. And I used lots of arable soil. So this is soil that was alive and in nature, and the benefits of that to the piece is that you get this really deep constructed root system that you can see throughout the piece when you look close. I have a couple pictures here that kind of barely show it. It's much easier to see in person, all these different root systems interconnected throughout the soil. And then as far as vegetation is really sparse in winter. And so I was really only able to access pine trees that were still alive and had greenery on them. But this is the type of piece that can be recreated each season to produce different looks and reflect nature in a different light. So here's the final product. The word I ended up settling on was here. I thought it was simple enough to be applied using sticks, which I cut up using a hacksaw. These are just pine tree branches that were cut up with the hacksaw, and I was able to easily apply those 4 letters in a symmetrical way on the piece, which gives a really singular focus to the typography. And then you can see that kind of the pine needles are sparsely incorporated throughout the piece, just to give enough breathing room to the type to be seen. I originally used a lot of pine needles, and it made the type a bit harder to notice and see. Here's a picture in a different light as well. And that'll do it. Thank you for viewing this project. Your time is valuable, and thank you so much for viewing. Have a good night.